The advancements of sports is taking the expression of your chi and moving it into that sport. You're taking your meditation and you're creating individuals rather than a gang where everyone acts the same and everyone wants to be the same. If you can look, there's always one like star player on every team. And the best team that you can have is you take all those star players and put them on the same team. So the real goal of the coach should be to make every player a star player individually. But you train them as a whole team. You're training, for instance, somebody who doesn't need that training because it's somebody else's fault. You're wasting time of that player advancing. It's the difference between, for instance, a coach bringing a tree into the bench with them. Because a lot of the players are connected to the outside, and have played on the outside. And on an outdoor rink, and that's where their soul connection to hockey resides. Letting players express themselves how they want to during the conditioning games and through the season games is what can control this, because you know you're gonna win either way, and then one person does something and it's not wholeheartedly, because in the back of his mind when he does it, he has to go back to his coaches who's going to scrutinize him. He's going to go back to the owners who are going to scrutinize him, assistant coach who's going to scrutinize him, his teammates are going to scrutinize him, instead of taking those type of chances. Now, I'm not talking in any way about being showboaty. What I mean is to do something that is an anomaly amongst the generalized thing that other teams refuse to do, because they have a predetermined idealization of what's best. And that goes straight with almost everything, except, for instance, some marketing. Most of the marketing that appeals to us is the marketing that's the anomaly, because everything else is just like this, like this, like this, and then there's anomaly. And once everybody starts to try to become the anomaly, then they start to generalize themselves as an anomaly. And then to break through that anomaly is just the imagination, and the imagination can always do that. Now you're taking people's psyche and you're adding it with a whole bunch of this and that stuff that you can't see preliminarily. So what I'm saying is, there's a difference between a skater skating with four players all around him, which is legal, between that one player just skating and losing the puck, and the same thing happened going back and forth. But you try this, and then you say you add football to hockey, and then you add UFC to hockey, you add Shaolin Kung Fu to hockey, you add Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to hockey, you add the Art of War to hockey, you add the Spirit of War to hockey. That means you teach your players to do army training, to do gun training, to do artistic training. You can't tell me that if you go into these extreme avenues of expression that it's not going to come through in your actual expression when you're playing this art form. Because everything commingles together into this one expression, because every time you express yourself, you express yourself with that expression with you. For instance, a lot of the martial artists speak in a certain way that from all their training of punching, they when they speak almost if their martial art has become them. Whereas in the UFC, a lot of the fighters that I see have more experience in the actual fights, so they know that other players are studying everything. So sometimes it's better to just stay as a normal blank slate, so that there's nothing that the other person can judge, and then on the fight day you can do something random that the other person wouldn't expect.
Come on, April, you could have called me last night, you know. Call it a quirk, but I like to know when one of my best reporters has been mugged.
I wasn't mugged, Charles. Besides, I mean, just worried and rush over here like you did this morning.
Well, from now on,
Words.
security's going to escort you to that